What's up guys, Levi here with the Digi Bros.
Digi Bros!
And today guys, I'm coming at you with the winning deck profile for this past week's Digi Bros local tournament. The winner of our 5-round tournament was a blue-green rookie rush variant, and it was piloted by Aldorous, aka Alex. And funny enough, Aldorous is actually a fellow DigiTuber, so I'm going to make sure to have his channel linked down below. Please guys, go check his videos out. He's got some really fun, informative, and really just funny videos over on his channel, so I definitely recommend him. I'm subscribed to him personally, so I definitely think you should be too. But without further ado guys, I'm going to pass it over to Aldorous and let him talk about his deck.
Hey Digibro family, my name is Aldorous, a fellow Digimon YouTube creator. Was able to take out this week's Digi Bros tournament with my blue-green Zudomon rookie rush deck. So here's the deck profile. I hope you enjoy it. Big thanks to the Digi Bros for putting on the tournament and to Anthony for running it. Thanks so much. Here it is. Right, so let's go ahead down here and start with our Digitama. We have 4 copies of Upamon. I know there are other versions of blue-green rookie rush that like to have a green rookie as well, but I don't like the inconsistency and the idea of having to try and have a green rookie in my hand at that time, particularly given that half of the ones that we are running will actually be a cost 1. So happy with 4 because we love triggering our draw 1. As a rookie rush deck, cards are king. We really need that extra draw. Now I should mention that we're going to go through the rest of the deck profile, and then I'm going to include some tech choices as well. So onto the rookies, we have 26 rookies and 18 of them are going to be blue. So let's get the vanillas out of the way. We have 4 copies of Gomamon, the 2 cost, and we have 4 copies of Elecmon, 2 cost. Very simple reasonings, cheap to play, throw them out there, no Digivolution cost. We're quite happy with that. Next, we have 2 copies of Armadillomon. Now some decks like to run 4 of this. I just had to try and find room for the Zudomon cards, and I felt like we've got quite a lot of blue rookies already, so we're not hurting to try and digivolve up with our Digitama. So I've sacrificed here, we've only got 2, but having 4K is really, really good as a rookie, because when you're checking security, there's actually half a chance that you're going to actually pass that security check if you come across another rookie in security. So having that extra 1K over, perhaps your normal rookies is actually really, really handy. But next up, we have 4 copies of Gabumon, triggering draw 1. This is the regular version. There's also the Dash Pack promo version, which looks sensational. As I've said, cards are king with Rookie Rush. It's the most valuable resource that you can have, and it's the #1 reason why Rookie Rush loses is the fact that it runs out of card draw, it runs out of hand, it runs out of power, it runs out of steam. So this helps you get the steam going. And another card that can really help with that, we've got 4 copies of the Memory Gomamon. So this is a 3 cost to play, 0 to Digivolve. This is the #1 target that you'll be wanting to put your Digitama on. And you'd ideally like to Digivolve that up 1 further when checking security. If your opponent has a Digimon with no Digivolution sources, and you can throw this one out here, then it's a good idea to try and swing anyway and get that extra card draw. Now we have our green rookies. We have 4 copies of Goblimon. Now this is to facilitate the use of green option cards later on, and also with their 2 costs, so that's great. 0 to Digivolve, but whatever. 3K, which is good. And we have another one. We have 4 copies of Mushroomon, 4K DP, which is really handy. Not enough to get over the top of Volcanic Dramon, but that's okay. It still can get over the top of other rookies. And there have definitely been times when I've been able to use a Flower Cannon or something to tap an opposing rookie and then straight up delete it with this going over the top if I feel like they're trying to pressure me on the board and I'm trying to out-aggro them. So that one is really good too. Now we have our champions. We're running 10 champions. And first of all, we have 4 copies of Gorillamon. This is a really, really good card. 6 cost to play is really its only downside, but ideally you're trying to Digivolve up for 1 on top of weaker things, such as the Gabumon, which has already gotten its value with its trigger draw 1. The idea that you can pay 1 memory to draw a card, which is great, Digivolving up, giving you extra DP that you can then trade with opposing blockers at the champion level, or make it more likely that you'll pass a security check. And that's really the secret with Rookie Rush. So if you can find a way to pass your security checks and you can leave a board state that can stick, that's a real problem for your opponent to deal with. And in doing so, in trying to deal with it, they can give you even more memory, which just puts them further and further behind. And next up, we have a similar theme 4 copies of Vegemon. Now, I don't know how this card exists. The fact that it's a 4 cost to play means that if you're struggling, you can just straight up hard play this, and it's really not that bad of a play, to be honest. 1 to Digivolve is great. Getting over the top, Digivolving up, giving you extra card draw, 6k DP is really good, as I've said before. And lastly, we have 2 copies of Leomon, so you notice we're not playing any blockers in this deck. This deck really is, trying to be aggressive. It's all out aggressive. We're trying to, present a board straight really early on that our opponent can't deal with, or if they try to deal with it with something big, like a Volcanic Dramon, a Metal Sea Dramon, or something like that, they're just going to flood us with memory, and we're actually going to try and do something about that. We're going to actually utilize that memory. So 2 copies of Leomon. Now, I'm sure you've seen this trick before. Ideally, you'd have an Upamon that you've digivolved up into a Gomamon, digivolve up into a Leomon. You go ahead and swing at security. Ideally, if they have a Digimon with no Digivolution sources, you're triggering a draw 1, and then if this thing dies, you gain 3 memory. And I know that play happens a lot with most blue decks, but it's particularly important with Rookie Rush, because 3 memory is just so golden. That's 2 extra rookies that you can throw out on the table. That's a lot of pressure that you can put there, and if you're triggering a draw 1 as well, and that's just more and more resources for you. I don't run 4 copies of it because I do really value those one to Digivolve Digimon. The fact that they're only 1 to Digivolve, meaning that you can draw a card, is just really handy. It means that you can do a lot more with your turn. You can Hammer Spark up back to 2 and still do the kind of plays that you might want to make. Now, I've called this, Zudomon Blue-Green Rookie Rush, and that's for this reason here. So the reason why I decided to include this in my deck and make some room for it as opposed to other blue-green Rookie Rush lists is just the fact that the main problem with Rookie Rush is card draw. And it's just this idea that I'm going to put all of my rookies out, and then if they drop a Volcanic Dramon, I just lose. And I really don't like that. That doesn't feel right. It's like, why can't Rookie Rush do something about that? And I feel like Zudomon really does answer that question. So let's say I've been put to 10 memory, they've dropped a Volcanic Dramon, I had 2 or 3 Digimon down, I have 2 cards in hand. I'll be like, okay, right, I'm going to play a Zudomon for 7. All of a sudden, I'm down to 3. I can then play a Mushroomon or something equivalent. And if I wanted to, I could even play a Puppetmon. And now all of a sudden I've put them at 10 memory. I have 3 Digimon. I've got 2 cards back in my hand from it. And that kind of pressure can, really swing a game. They can think that, okay, I've wiped their board. I have some breathing room. That's fantastic. And, they'll have a Volcanic Dramon security attack +1, which is really good. But if they've been playing defensive at this point, they may not be able to present lethal fast enough. And even if they do, they may hit a Flower Cannon or a Hammer Spark in security, which would mean that, that's going to put them back even further. Anyway, so I think that this card is really, really underrated as a concept for Rookie Rush decks, and I don't think people are particularly going to be expecting it. And I definitely was able to get off that combo that I mentioned in one of my games in my locals, and it felt great. I felt like I was really able to put the pressure back on, and they weren't able to deal with it. So now on to the megas. We have 3 copies of Puppetmon. What can be said about this card? I mean, it gives your opponent an awful lot of memory when you play it, and you really do have to have a board state that you feel like can present lethal, or you're trying to stop them from presenting lethal back at you. If they've gone all in hard, they've got to set up the blocker. That's a classic Puppetmon play. You play your Puppetmon at the end of your turn, tap everything of theirs, and then they're stalled for that turn. 3 copies. I know a lot of decks like to run 4. Trying to make room for the Zudomons, and I really felt like I was seeing this card consistently enough as a 3 copy, because I really only seem to be playing them once per game, and as a once per game kind of card, 3 copies was more than enough for me. And to round things off, we have the ever popular Hammer Spark, which is sensational. Gaining 2 memory on security, can pass it into your turn from your opponent's side if it hits one of your security, which can just totally screw them over. I know a lot of people getting used to trying to attack on 2 memory, but if you only give them 1 memory and you hit this, well, they could be in a world of trouble. And with finishing it up, we have 4 copies of Flower Cannon. I was really deliberating as to whether or not I should have 4 copies of Puppetmon or Flower Cannon, and I really considered that Flower Cannon having its security effect, which suspends all of your opponent's Digimon without blocker, being so powerful, and the fact that It's only a 2 cost to play, and sometimes you don't need to throw a Puppetmon down to win. Sometimes you just need to tap one of their blockers and either delete it by trading with your Gorillamon or something like that, or you just need to tap it so you can get in and, you know, present lethal, whether they have multiple blockers up, which, you know, I've had games where they've had 2 blockers up and tapping one of them can, you know, change up the maths of do I have enough security checks to win in that instant. But yeah, Flower Cannon is sensational, definitely run 4 of that. Now we're going to go ahead and get into the techs. Now, one problem you may be having in your local meta is the fact that you are seeing a lot of other rookie rushes, and I don't have enough data yet to see how this baseline deck does against other rookie rushes. However, there are definitely some things that you can do to try and help those matchups in your favor. So you could, for instance, run 2 copies of the Grizzlymon, presenting a blocker back at them. If they don't run blockers, it can really help. I know they could Flower Cannon it down, but you know, having that extra control to kind of stop them in their tracks is something they have to try and deal with. At the very least, they have to try and spend 2 memory to deal with it, to tap it, and then try and attack over it. So I'd probably replace the 2 Leomons with that in that instance, and I know other decks like to do that. Now, finally, I feel like it is possible, if you are versing a lot of rookie rush decks, that you could take out 1 Zudomon. That does seem reasonable, or perhaps, you know, you may not have 3 Zudomon. It's not a very popular card, and this is certainly the first time that I've really seen it used as a 3 of. So you could definitely sub it out, you know, if you only have 1 Zudomon. I think you could sub 2 of them out for a Magnadramon and a Volcanic Dramon. Magnadramon can just help you survive that extra turn to get your lethal before they get you, and Volcanic Dramon countering their board state, obviously, as a 4K DP wipe that this deck is really trying to play around. You really want to make use of your champions being at 6k DP, getting over the top of that, as well as the raising area as well. So always make sure that you've got blue Digimon that you can constantly be bringing up from the raising area, because, you know, having them safe and protected there, and the turn that they come out they can swing, is really quite something. That's it from me. If you've got any questions, let me know down in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a great day.
Thank you so much for watching, guys. Be sure to head down to Aldorous' channel, linked in the description. He makes some really fun, informative content. I definitely think you'll like it. And alright guys, that's all I got for you today. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you want to see more Digimon TCG related content. My name's Levi with the Digi Bros.
Digi Bros!
I'll see you guys next time.